Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. Daily Compliance News for November 2024, the Mr. Non-Compliant edition. And we begin with that story from Bloomberg, which reports that Trafigura is going to trial in Switzerland as Swiss prosecutors claim the company paid bribes to Angola via a gentleman named Mr. Non-Compliant. Yes, he has a name. It's Mr. Non-Compliant. So a 150-page indictment was released Monday in Switzerland detailing how the bribes were allegedly paid, and for the first time claiming that Trafigura's late founder and CEO, Claude Dauphin, was a central part of the scheme. Well, that certainly plays directly into what we've seen from trading groups. It went all the way up to the top. Next up, from the Financial Times, a troubling scenario is arising where employees are being fired for minor offenses, which look like backdoor layoffs. Basically the same as telling employees that a plan requiring them to come into the office 5 days a week is just that, a way to be able to get companies to rein in costs and restrict workplace initiatives. It's called the stealth sacking. So we've had a recent number of layoffs by companies, including Nissan, Boeing, and Citigroup, that have been a series of employers justifying dismissals because of seemingly minor company violations. Not much institutional justice and institutional fairness. From TheBulwark, an article on Trump's crypto scheme, a layer cake of corruption. Yes, Donald J. Trump companies into crypto. What can go wrong? And finally, from the Financial Times, the rehabilitation of KPMG. KPMG in the United Kingdom. In the UK, KPMG has tried to make a comeback and has indeed made a comeback from its crisis in both audit quality and the way it treated its employees after the pandemic. Of course, this is the United Kingdom and not the United States. No word about a comeback in the United States, but at least some good news for KPMG. They've had several black eyes over the years, and this one is good news as they make a comeback. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.